lot of this debris is a collection of the ointment they're using. So the patient's going to speak to their GP to see if they can have the cream prescribed instead. Now, they've tried in the past oral antibiotics. They've also tried topical antibiotic sprays, antifungal sprays as well, but they just don't work for the patient. In fact, they can exacerbate their symptoms. The patient doesn't enjoy using them. So the cream is this particular ointment that they've got currently is the only thing that really helps the patient. So if they're going to try the cream format, because the cream format may not lead to the ointment, as is the case here, also almost amalgamating with the dead skin and causing a blockage in itself. If you imagine if you have a bottle of Vaseline, it's a very similar consistency, this ointment that this patient's got, and you put that Vaseline in your ear, because of the consistency of it, the thick glutinous kind of greasy substance, that can collect in the ear and itself block the ear, where the cream is more likely to permeate the skin and be absorbed. So it's worth a try. Now, this patient has got extremely tender ear canal. The skin's very sensitive, so it was so important that I avoid touching the canal wall. So it's quite challenging at times because we're in very close proximity to the canal wall. In particular, when we're using the Jobson horn, we're having to just almost hover over the canal wall without making contact, or if we did make contact, very minimal, low pressure contact, because it was the skin was almost stinging for the patient. We're not sure of the cause of why this patient suddenly developed chronic otitis externa. They don't get water in the ear. They're not really in humid conditions. So I've recommended they try and see a dermatologist. It could be some sort of allergy. They don't suffer from eczema or psoriasis anywhere else. They did mention that their a family member suffers from eczema, so there might be some genetic link there, but this patient's skin everywhere else is fine. They are not going through menopause or perimenopause. They're a bit young for that at this age. So there is anecdotal evidence, at least that I've myself noted, that patients who suffer from menopause or perimenopausal have very similar condition to this. They suffer from excessive dead skin accumulation. It's not really documented about it being in the ear, but patients who suffer from menopause, perimenopause do get dry skin, itchy skin, should I say, irritable skin in other parts of the body. But I've definitely noticed a link, a correlation. So I said the term correlation because you may be aware that in the UK tomorrow, King Charles is going through his coronation, and I was just watching the news, and hence why that term was in my head. But I was meant to say correlation, not coronation. There is a correlation between, in anecdotally anyway, patients who are menopausal, perimenopausal, and have this dead skin accumulation in the ear. So how would I best describe this? I would describe it as macerated dead skin. So I was explaining to the patient where the kind of almost the physiology behind what's going on in the ear, and I explained that the ear canal has a layer of skin that lines it. The skin varies on the outer third. The outer third, the cartilaginous portion, the skin is made up of 3 layers, and it's a lot thicker. You've got the epidermis, which is the outer layer of skin. You've then got the dermis, which is the middle layer of skin, and then you've got an inner insulating layer of fat and connective tissue. So it's 3 layers thick, 1 millimeter in thickness, thereabouts. And then the inner